You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we hang out and talk about everything from hammocks and hammock camping to the group hangs from around the country. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hammock Hangers Podcast. I am your host, Paul Collins, or also known as Skunk Ape. We have got AJ Glenn, or also known as Pheonix, with us.
I'm kind of sick, everybody, but we're going to make this work. So how y'all doing?
Keep your cooties to yourself there, buddy.
I'll try.
All right. So this week, it's actually a special week for us because this is our episode number 52, AJ.
This is one year, everybody.
One whole year of everybody putting up with us.
That's, man, I'm surprised we got more than 5 or 6 listeners.
I know, right? So our episode this week, we have a voice here in a minute that you're going to hear that everybody should recognize. It's Heather
Y'all
Beck.
might want to turn down your volume.
Yeah,
She's by default.
I'll have to edit all that. I'll turn her voice down a little bit. But so we have Heather Beck, or also known as Nanny Skids, with us. She's back. And she has brought somebody else with her, which is a part of the Palmetto State Hangers. And they had their voting. When did y'all vote for everybody, Heather?
Voting is still actually happening at this moment. Hi, everyone. It's still technically happening. It's not over yet. It will be over at the end of this month.
Okay.
And voting started at our Swamp Butt event.
Okay.
Was there a hanging Chad issue or something?
Say that again?
They're waiting for the Florida votes.
Chad issue? Was there a lot of mail-in ballots? I mean, we've all been through this election that just lasts forever. So we've been through this a couple different times. I just want to make sure.
It's the Florida votes that they're waiting on, AJ.
It's the Florida votes.
No, we don't have to do the Florida recounts here in South Carolina.
That's funny. All right, so Heather, I will let you bring in our other guest.
Very nice. So we now have Palmetto State Hangers. We now have a new president. His name is Richard Nance. He has been a tremendous help with me over the last year with social media and things like that. So any social media posts you've seen in the last year, it's all been done by Richard. All the funny memes and things like that has been him, not me. He's now going to be our new president of the club. So Richard, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Before I get started, I want to compliment and acknowledge Heather Beck for the tremendous job she's done in our group and to make it what it is today, with looking toward the future and with the accomplishments that her and her team have done. I think we have a long journey ahead of us together for for Heather and I, but I believe we're going to be able to make it with our team. So thank you very much, Heather, for what you've done already.
Oh, no, thank you, Richard. When I asked for help, you were the first person to step up and say, what do you need? And so you really took a lot of weight off my shoulders, because for a long time I was doing it completely by myself. So, but we now have a great team. Richard, after I got Richard, he helped me put together a great team of other people that see the same future for this group. And we all have the same goals in mind, and with growing the group and propelling it into something much bigger than it can be and that it currently is, and really looking forward to the next 10 years of is how we're trying to plan things right now. So
y'all have a 10-year plan.
We have a 10-year plan, unlike AJ's 5-year plan that happens in one.
No. There was no AJ's 5-year plan. This was all a Paul 5-year plan. And I hate Paul's 5-year plan because it turns into like a 6-month plan.
Look, AJ wanted a 5-year plan. He came to me and asked me about a 5-year plan. We agreed on a 5-year plan. I just overachieved a little bit.
And sometimes when we meet our 5-year goal in the first year, then there's a problem there.
That's not a
So
problem.
I have to say, AJ, you and Paul have been tremendous mentors to me, especially for Palmetto State Hangers. And how to run things. I learned to make a 10-year plan, not a 5-year plan, because of you guys. So I figured if you guys could do 5-year plan in 6 months, then we could do a 10-year plan in like a year. So
There you go.
Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for.
I'm glad that you actually have somebody helping you now,
yes,
Heather. Because I remember, last year. I mean, you were stressed. I know AJ and I both picked on you a lot.
No.
Was saying that you were going to be president, and that we were going to even vote for it and everything else, just to give you a hard time.
And I think the original plan for the past president was for me to take over presidency, but I really saw like what Richard had in him, and I think he could propel this group and do things much better than I can. So I'm also still going to maintain the treasury spot and stay over the money, and I think that's a good spot for me to stay in for the time for now anyway, and they'll probably be the spot I stay in forever. Maintaining the event coordinations and the money and things like that. That's really where my desire in my heart lies anyway. I'm pretty organized with that kind of stuff, and I really love doing that. I don't really particularly like managing people that well, but Richard is really good at that. And
that's what you need. That's what
I needed. So I really saw the potential he had, and I knew that he would be much better at it than I could do and do a much better job than I could do. So I elected him, and I nominated him to be the president and the next president, and no one has disagreed so far. So
well, I'm gonna wait for those Florida votes.
Yeah, wait for the Florida votes. We might have to do a recount then.
I know you both very well. We've known each other for a couple different years, and you guys both are awesome. And
absolutely,
I really think that Palmetto State are in really good hands with either one of you being in the Reds. You guys are both not just in South Carolina, the Hammock community. You go to other hangs, not just you show up at other hangs, you help out at other hangs, and you're an integral part of multiple hangs, not just South Carolina. You're a big part of HangCon, and always going to other hangs, probably more so than me and Paul are. So you're out in the community. So
Richard goes to all the hangs along with our vice president of the group. This earlier this year, back in February, I believe it was, we actually voted in a new vice president. Our previous vice president decided to step down, and so we had to do a special election and vote in a new one. And at the time, Richard was still the social media coordinator, and the vice president and social media coordinator have to work very closely related together. So I just asked Richard, I said, who do you want to work with? And he gave me the nomination of who he thought would be great, knowing that person would be in that position for a while. And in our group, the vice president handles all the vendors. They are responsible for all the vendor relationships and maintaining that contact with them and going to all the hangs across the Southeast to maintain that relationship and be the face of the group, basically. And so I'm just going to throw a shout out there to Roger McIntyre, because he stepped up and took over that position.
Another great individual.
Yeah, doing a very good job.
Yeah.
He has done a tremendous job for us on that aspect of, I don't think there's a weekend that he's not at a hang, just about. And
he must be retired.
He's not. He works a full-time job. He installs fire sprinklers into commercial buildings full-time Monday through Friday, and then he usually packs up on Friday and heads out to a hang somewhere. So he's done a tremendous job of bringing in some vendors and rebuilding some relationships with vendors that the past board prior to me had kind of messed up and things like that for various reasons and things that had happened. But he's really done a great job, and he we have to help him a little bit with the technology side of things sometimes. But even on that, he's done a great job of stepping up and learning. Like he is very open to learning anything he doesn't know, and very dedicated to propelling this group forward and doing whatever it takes to bring a good name to us and help us out. So shout out to Roger, because he's been another tremendous help and a lot of pressure off of me. So
awesome. Okay. Well, I'm glad, that everything's getting squared away with the group and everything, and y'all are getting a good group together that can work good together and all that. And I can't wait for some of the hangs.
Speaking of the hangs, you guys got one coming up, don't you?
We do. Richard, would you like to talk to them about Fall Sprawl?
I can talk about Fall Sprawl. So the Fall Sprawl event is going to be October 12th through the 15th at Santee, South Carolina State Park. And that's right off of I-95. So it's really accessible to anyone traveling from any other state to come in. Got a lot of events planned. Heather's done a very good job, putting together a different, I wanted juggling, but we didn't get juggling. So different skills that people know that they're going to demonstrate and teach other people how to do. Anything from basic, things that you could do to prevent or to help someone before they have EMT shows up, to kind of keep someone calm and kind of that kind of assessment. If you don't have any medical training, at least, there's some basic things you can do for that. To Dutch oven introductions, to knot tying introductions. So there's a lot of stuff we're really looking forward to with this event. And it's going to be a great event. We have vendors that are going to be set up. We like to support our vendors. So I think this is going to be a larger event than what we've had probably in quite some time.
Okay. How many people are y'all expecting this year?
Currently, we have 117 interested.
Okay.
With that, we have about 70 that have confirmed they're coming.
Okay.
And that's individuals. So if they bring a spouse or a child or something like that. So we're going to have a pretty nice outcome this year.
Good deal. Good deal.
And I think last year we had 80 people coming. So I've actually had a few people texting me today because people are still so used to me being the one over everything and doing everything. So I've had a few individuals message me today about it that say they're coming, but they haven't marked it on the event page yet. But we're expecting at least, probably 100 people at minimum this year. So that's it, which is good. Me, I'm good with only having 20, 30 more than last year. I don't want to do that.
Take everyone that wants to come.
Yeah, I don't want to do the HangCon thing where we suddenly have 300 people when we only expected 100.
Minor details.
It's funny. I'll keep you on your toes.
We would like to maintain the state park we're at for a little bit, because it is very centrally located in the middle of the state. So
yeah, it's a very nice park. I really enjoy going to that hang.
It's probably like one of my favorite hanging spots. Like where me and Paul usually set up. I love that spot.
Yeah.
Yes, we're calling dibs on that spot again, by the way.
Yeah, we're calling dibs. That's where the HangCon vendor will be.
Yes.
There you go. That's set up. We have official signage, so we're legit.
If AJ brings the right one this year.
Yeah. There's that.
Hey, aren't you teaching a class at HangCon?
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a ridgeline and hammock suspension class. Be showing off some of the stuff. Also, if you're interested in purchasing a ridgeline that I demonstrate, I'll also be might have a few there to sell, or I might bring stuff to make if you want a particular color or something. Also, we'll be showing off our all-in-whoopee system again, and showing it off, and maybe actually making a video this year to showing how it's all set up, and because I know some people have been asking about that as well. So the HangCon crew will be there. I know me and Paul will definitely. We're trying to make sure that Travis comes along as well. He tells me that it's on his calendar, but until his butt is conditioned in my truck, we'll see. I know a buddy of mine that came to HangCon that lives in Virginia. He's planning on coming down as well. I don't know if it's going to be him and his kids or just him. Hopefully it's just him. That way I can spend more time with my buddy. And we might see if we can get Matt or Waterboy with us as well, and maybe bring a couple different other people. But yeah, there will be a HangCon crew invasion of Fall Sprawl as well. We love it. It's one hang that me and Paul make sure that we go to every single year because it's a load of fun every year we've gone.
Yeah. So I know this year Jacks Are Better is coming. Yobo Gear's coming. I believe Dutch is coming. Either Dutch or Pheonix will be there from Dutchware.
That's awesome.
Here, Batch Stoves will be there, and Batch Stoves will also be doing a demonstration of their things during our event as well.
Cool.
So yeah, lots of good big name vendors are coming. That's just a few that I have on hand with me right now that I know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know in the past y'all have had some vendors, but it sounds like you're going to have even more than normal.
Yes, we
More
are.
than past.
Our vendors that are, I mean, we've always had a lot of vendors who donate to the thing, but they
Right.
usually show up on site. But yes, year over year, we have grown them. I think last year we had like 5 to 7 vendors on site. This year we're anticipating at least 10 vendors on site.
Okay.
Still working on locking things down with a few more and trying to get at least 12. So
Awesome.
yeah. So unlike HangCon though, Palmetto State Hangers, we are growing, but we are purposely growing slowly because we don't want to desperately have to find a new venue, at a last minute. Because in South Carolina, it's a little hard to find a venue that's centrally located between everybody, right off the interstate. Right off, because 95 is like easy for anybody from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, from all over the regional areas as well to get to.
Right.
It's a little hard to find that. You could probably find some private hunting land, but during the fall, that's also hunting season, so that makes it a little more difficult to rent.
Interesting. A hang and bang is. I'm all for the hang and bang.
AJ, be careful of that. This is a family friendly show. Some people like that the wrong way.
So as someone that has been to your hang every year, I know the answers to this, but I'm going to step in the shoes of maybe somebody that's interested in coming that has never been before. I have trouble finding this place. Are there roads out there on dirt road? Do I need a 4-wheel drive to get to this campsite?
You do not. It is a paved road, and although the particular it does have a lot of potholes sometimes because the particular area is known for sinkholes, so that's kind of out of the park's control. They do their best to fill it in with gravel into those potholes and make it better, but so just be aware, don't go flying down at 90 miles an hour or anything like that. But you don't need a truck. You can just come in with a small car if that's all you have. And it's very accessible to get back to. As a matter of fact, the campsite we are at is directly next to a boat ramp. So if anyone has a fishing boat or a pontoon boat or anything like that, because we're literally camping directly on the lake. So you're welcome to bring your boat, and you can go out fishing during the day and things like that if you would like.
Okay, so if I'm coming in, what's the parking situation? Am I going to have to hike my gear out, or can I camp near my car?
It depends on how early you get there. If you get there pretty early, you can actually camp near your car because you do have to park kind of along the side of the road. So the people who like park right on the side of the road and then walk right there because camping grounds start right beside the road, so it's right off the roadway. But if you do have to hike in, it's literally, I mean, it's 10 yards. It's not that far. Maybe 20 yards at the most. So you don't have to carry stuff very far. If you happen to get there late and all the road frontage ones have taken up and you have to kind of go towards the back closer to the lake area. So there it's not like you need a backpack to get your gear in and hike in.
So when I get there, should I go set up my gear first, or what should I do very first?
you should come to the registration table and see Heather, and go ahead and pay for your camping. We will also, not only are we having the raffle that we'll have going on, so you can go ahead and buy your raffle tickets at registration, but you can go ahead and re-up your membership dues. That's the beginning of our new financial year, so everybody renews membership dues. If you're not a member, that's okay. You can pay to camp for the weekend, although it is the way the payment system is structured, it's much cheaper and easier, especially if you're going to camp with us more than one time. It's a whole lot cheaper for you just to pay for the membership for the year. Because Richard, would you like to talk about the membership dues and stuff like that, though?
I can. We really hadn't released a lot of that to the general public yet. We just met the other day about this. But so, as everyone knows, we've had to have a little bit of an increase, nothing huge. We're $35 for the year, which is great when we get at least 4 or 5 designated campouts that we're going to host. Most all the time we provide food. The reason we went to 35 from 25 is because one of our board members, Heather, actually paid for food for the group out of her own pocket because there wasn't the funds weren't there. We've been utilizing the funds to get our trailer up and running, new tires, buying some equipment, things of that nature. So, the $35 is not a huge amount. We're asking $15 the first time you camp with us and give us a fair shot, thinking that, if you like it, you like us, and you want to stick with us, just give us the other $20, and then you don't have to worry about it the rest of the time you want to camp with us. So I think it's an amazing chance for people to come in, visit with us. And also, if you're a family, we've discounted that. Instead of $70 for 2 people, we're doing $60 for the family. So you really can't beat that.
You really can't. I mean, if you look at just any campsite with anywhere across the country, even in a state park, you're looking at least $25 to $30 a night. So even if you paid up the $35 for a whole weekend, totally worth it.
Yeah, and AJ, I'm going to piggyback off what you're saying here a little bit. Here at South Carolina State Parks, they've continued to raise the prices, which is another reason why we're also having to raise our prices too. The cost of living and inflation has increased tremendously here in South Carolina. But for lakefront, like what we are camping with, those properties and stuff, they are going for $45 and $50 a night at the state parks here in South Carolina a lot of times. So you really are, as Richard said, you really are getting a bargain. I mean, for the whole weekend, you're camping for what the price of one night would be if you bought your own individual site.
Right.
Especially on, again, like lakefront, like what we're doing. I mean, so in the campground that we're at Santee, I mean, the whole thing is pretty much lakefront, except for the one side that's roadside. You have lake views, almost panoramic lake views. So no matter where you're camping, so it's a great bargain. And most of our campouts that we do, because we also do Drew Island, that's also lakefront, and things like that. So the other one we usually do the Edisto River at some point as well during the year. So we do a lot of water activities and campgrounds that are on the water, that are higher end campgrounds as well. So
okay, yeah, y'all normally do what, at least four hangs a year, right?
We do 5. We do.
Okay.
So it starts. Fall Sprawl is technically our first one of the year on the financial year side. So we do Fall Sprawl, then we do a holiday hang, then we do Frozen Butt. Then we do Spring Swing, and we do Swamp Butt. Those are the ones that are planned out. As a matter of fact, after Fall Sprawl this year, the dates for all of the rest of them will be posted. So we've already have our stuff planned out a year in advance, and that's something that bringing Richard on board has been very helpful with too, because he's been helping me plan that and getting the dates locked down, and making sure that we're not interfering with like Maha and other hangs throughout the country, because Richard goes to those and I don't. So, but yeah, so I mean, We do five major hangs a year. Our holiday hang, because it is during the holidays, it tends to be a smaller hang for us and not nearly as many people. But like last year, our holiday hang, we still had 35 people that came.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, and that hang sits directly between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So 35 people during that busy time of year, that's a lot of people. That's still a good number of people, so.
Right.
And I think also there's something to be said about, smaller hangs too. It's a different vibe.
It is.
It's really cool. It's still really, really cool. I just as soon go to something big. I have just as much fun at HangCon and Fall Sprawl as I do at even the smaller hangs. So you can't really go wrong.
Yeah. Richard and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. The smaller hangs are just as important as the large ones when you're running an organization, because especially for us board members who are, we are at these large hangs, we're busy running, doing and planning, and there's not a lot of time for that connection and get to know your members. So that's why, and this upcoming year, Richard and I have planned to we're actually going to probably do more than 5. We're going to probably throw in 1 or 2 extra hangs for the year to do that and let them be smaller and limit them to a certain amount of people, just for that exact reason of us being able to connect with our members and really get to know them as people and individuals. And I think that's important when you're trying to build a community. It's important to know the people of your community.
Right. So I want to double back to something a minute, real quick. A minute ago, you was talking about, all the different vendors and stuff that are going to be there. And then you had mentioned your raffle. So Richard, why don't you tell us a little bit about the raffle and, what people can expect, like some of the different gear that might be in there, and then, talk about the ticket sales and all that stuff.
I got you. So the raffle is a fundraiser. We don't keep that money for us. That does not go to Palmetto State Hangers. That money actually goes back to the South Carolina State Parks, and it's a part of their camp out program, which what they do is they buy gear for people that have never been in the woods before, and they will help instruct them. Actually, it's the weekend before our camp out, for our Fall Sprawl is when the event's going to take place. So they will take families and bring them in and give them those pieces of equipment to take home with them in hopes that they will come back out and get in the woods and enjoy the things that we all, 4 of us, already enjoy. But with the raffle, we're going to have, we've got a lot of donations, and I won't even mention who's donated what because I'll probably mess it up, but we've got underquilts to be raffled, top quilts to be raffled. There's rumor that we may have a hammock stand being raffled. Lots of things that our vendors make, gadget bags, and you just, to see the table is spread. It's not going to be a HangCon raffle, but it will be to some degree a HangCon raffle. If you haven't been to HangCon, you're truly missing out. I went last year for the first time, and it was everything and more than I expected. I was blown away. The cherry on top of the sundae was the weather. The weather was just absolutely perfect for people coming up here from the northern places, North Carolina, South Carolina, going to Florida. We were in the low 30s, I guess, one night, and we probably had 35-mile-an-hour gust winds, but
that had to been on Thursday.
I would say it was prime weather for Jackson Beller to sell a bunch of quilts that he brought.
Exactly. And it's like Heather was talking, getting out to these hangs and things like that. I started my group where I started off in the Boy Scouts camping.
Okay.
And that was kind of my bread and butter. I had a Scoutmaster, Roscoe Pack. He was a great guy. He took us out. We went camping typically once every month or 6 weeks. And it didn't matter what time of the year it was, all year round. So, to see that as a young man or young boy growing up, and then had a long hiatus because of job and, everything kind of gets in the way.
Right.
My first hammock camping venture was with my good friend Adam Hall, which now has children. So, or he would be here right now to have him to tell you that my first hammock camping trip, I had a blue tarp from Harbor Freight, and it rained.
Did it keep you dry?
It kept me dry, but the noise.
Oh, I bet.
Unreal.
Probably machine guns all night.
Sorry, that was the lightning. And from that, it kind of sprawled to, I've got to find better equipment for myself than the Amazon $25 hammock and the blue tarp. So, I reached out to some of the local cottage vendors and found out that I lived 8 miles from one of the godfather of hammocking was Marty with Wilderness Logics. And
Okay.
Marty has left us and passed on, but I still have a few pieces of his equipment. But, he really kind of opened up my eyes as to what the differences were on a cottage vendor versus buying something from that. And then from there, it just kind of exploded. My first hang with a group other than myself, my wife said, "Man, you must be crazy." So you don't even know these people. I was like, well, it's fun. We all have common interests. So I went to the Hootenanny hang in Unicoi, Tennessee.
Okay.
And it was a great time. And that's when I found out people had different trail names. And I don't have one. I'm just Richard. So
I was fixing to ask you if you had one. I asked Heather earlier if you had a trail name, and she said if you did, she didn't know it.
I have been anointed, no name yet, but there was some talk last camp out with Heather that we had a name, but I think it was more poking fun than a name.
Richard, can you remind me what that was? I don't remember.
Well, you called me one.
That hang, so
you called me one day, and I was getting my nails done, which I have no problem doing that. I love pedicures. If you don't get them, I highly recommend them, especially if you're on your feet a lot. So she told me I was pretty boy.
oh, that's right, boy.
So, when I met Heather in the group at Fall Sprawl last year, I kind of knew right then. It was kind of like, oh wow, this clicks. This is like the group I need to be with. These people are phenomenal. The groups, all the hangers are there. I'll give a little shout out to Jason Flowers at Walhalla Hammocks. He really kind of took me under his wing. He didn't know me from Adam. He didn't know me from anybody. He was like, I was just hanging out with him, talking to him, and probably wore his ear out. But very nice.
Jason's an awesome guy. He really is.
Really awesome dude. And then, it was like, next thing I know, I hear this guy named Cajun. So Cajun I get introduced to. And if you've met Cajun, then I don't have to say much more. But Cajun's a great guy. He helped me out, and I talked a little bit about hammocking with him because I never really had anyone to talk with about the next evolution of hammocking.
Right.
And then the guys at Yobo Gear, they were very nice. I'd met them for the first time. I said, can you just hold? Because when I saw the cricket stand, I said, I got to have one of those. But I was on the fence a little bit. And I said, can you hold one of these till tomorrow? She goes, well, I don't know. I'll try. Well, I got in line to get one, and the guy in front of me bought the last two. So at HangCon, I bought the first one at HangCon. and Calvin come down, and he's like jumping that eager to help me set it up and show me how to do, that kind of stuff. And I listen to the podcast a lot. But I wanted to jump on something really quickly is that Pheonix was over in my neck of the woods. I lived in Colorado for 15 years, and I was harassing him on Facebook, he'll probably tell you, about all the places he needs to go and check out.
Yeah. So, funny story about that. So, we were taking, in fact, we actually went to a couple of places that you suggested, and one or two of them was actually on the itinerary. However, I will say, we did not attend one of the places that you suggested because as much as I would love to go to a natural spring, if you go on the website, it says, clothing optional, children welcome. And that kind of kind of creep my wife out. So we did not attend the hot springs.
Yeah, I don't think I would take children to that either.
Yeah, that became a hard no.
Yeah, I can see that with children, but yeah, that area is great. But that hot springs is a really nice place. I mean, even with that where you were at, they had a public hot springs. I don't know if you enjoyed that or not, but
yeah, we drove by. So for those of you that are listening, it's near Ridgeway, Colorado, between Ridgeway and Ouray, and they've got some really cool just county parks out that way.
absolutely.
Just really, really cool place. And this one place, they had what looks from the road looks to be a public pool. Like it looks, and it's got the flooring and everything, but the whole thing is a natural spring, a natural hot spring, like bougied up to look like a public pool. It is really, really cool.
It's an Olympic size or better.
We drove by the other one as well. That one didn't look as nice, but it's really, really cool area with really, really nice parks and so much to do out in Colorado. I just want to be back. It doesn't hurt that it's 8,000 degrees with 8 million% humidity right now.
Mhm.
And the day that we left Colorado Springs, the high was 76 with a real feel of like 78. So yeah.
Were you on yet whenever Heather was telling me what the weather was up there, AJ? Right now?
I was not. I was not.
Tell him, Heather.
So AJ, are you ready to be highly upset?
Well, I'm laying down because I'm sick. So go ahead. Put sand in the wound.
In South Carolina today, it was like 75, 80 degrees.
I hate you so much.
Tell me about it.
This is well, all right. So let's keep those temperatures for Fall Sprawl. And
so I think right now, South Carolina, South Carolina likes to play tricks on us with the weather. So I think I'm calling this the fake fall. So hashtag fake fall.
Oh, man.
I have a feeling in a few weeks we're going to get hit with sweltering heat again, and before real fall shows up. So,
well, hopefully Fall Sprawl will fall in real fall because I'm looking for a break from this heat.
Yeah,
the weather in the past has always been really, really great.
Yeah, it tends to be really nice weather around here in October.
I don't even want to hear it from any of y'all. AJ, Heather, I don't know what do you do for a living, Richard?
I'm in sales.
Okay,
so you're trucks, the big trucks.
Okay. Yeah. So you work inside too, right? Pretty much.
Inside part of the day, outside part of the day, and in a truck part of the day.
Okay. So now I know AJ is inside all day. Heather is inside all day.
Yes, but Heather is also a baker, so I
don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
And fryers. So.
Yeah. Well, I work outside all day, so I'm baking. Not a baker, but baking.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Heather is currently retired from her nanny world, which is where I got my original trail name from. But by the way, AJ though has renamed me, so my new trail name.
Yeah.
What's the new trail name?
Cackles.
I no longer go by Nanny Skids. I actually go by Cackles with a K now.
Cackles.
Because AJ says
we gotta be fancy like that.
Yeah. AJ's the one who named me that at HangCon this year, actually. Because he says that if you ever want to know where Heather's at, you just stop and listen for the cackle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've done that. I knew that she was on her way to HangCon from South Carolina. In Florida, because I heard her tell her husband goodbye, and I was able to hear it a couple states away.
Yeah. Heather don't need a bullhorn or anything.
No.
So you brought up Cackles with a K. That made me think about when you guys had Carla with a K on.
Oh yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting Carla with a K when I was up at the Trailheads event, and she's a hoot. Man,
she's gonna be a HangCon.
It was a hoot to have on. Yeah,
and I love the joke. I don't know if you guys remember the joke she told, but I use that a lot now. And I will give a shout out to Carl over the K with that. But it was, how do you know if someone's a hammock camper?
How's that?
So just wait a minute, they'll tell you. And I love that. So thank you, Carl with a K. That was awesome.
That is very true, because I always make sure to define that when I tell people I'm going camping. You know, I'll be like, they're like, oh, where are you going camping? I'll be like, in the woods. Where else do you go camping? Hammock.
Yeah, Carla with a K just registered for HangCon, so she's going to be down here this year.
Yeah, she said she was flying down. I kind of hit her. We've been Facebooking back and forth a little bit.
Okay.
So, going back to Fall Sprawl, what's the food situation? Do I need to bring food, or are you guys going to have food, or what do I need to plan as far as meals?
Richard, I'll let you speak.
Okay, so with the food, we have our breakfast that if you bring the meat, we'll cook it. So we're going to take care of you on breakfast. As long as you provide it, we'll cook it for you. So you don't have to cook it, just bring it there. Everything else except for our... You disappeared. Everything else except for our buffet of sorts is going to be like a potluck. We're going to have that one night. The rest of the meals, you'll be on your own. But we're going to, if you bring the food, we'll cook it on in the mornings. We'll also have coffee in the mornings. It's going to be cowboy coffee. And I think you'll thoroughly enjoy the breakfast and definitely the potluck, because there's a lot of good cooks out, and you might actually get something that's cooked in a Dutch oven.
Awesome. Now there's one other thing.
We can't go on without mentioning the tradition.
That's what I was just going to bring up too, that we stole.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
So, and
Please
AJ,
tell us
we'll be
about
happy to
this
know there is
mysterious wonderfulness of midnight bacon.
Yes, there will be plenty of midnight bacon. You'll also be happy to know there is a barbecue restaurant locally. So we will probably make an appearance at the barbecue restaurant as well one night.
At least once.
Yeah.
AJ.
Midnight bacon is and it could be midnight. It's midnight somewhere. So it doesn't always have to be exactly midnight. So it's midnight somewhere. And when people start bringing packs of bacon out of their coolers, and that's kind of the hint. Well, it must be midnight bacon time.
Yep. So
we're looking forward to it. We have a little twist on our midnight bacon that we do. I don't know if we should tell them or not, Heather, about our twist.
I go ahead and tell them, Richard.
So we have Sugarland's Moonshine are good friends with us, and they have given us a couple of bottles to try, and we now take the bacon off the griddle and put it right into the maple bacon moonshine and then consume it. So you're in for a treat.
And it tastes like candied bacon. So, and then at our Swamp Butt hang, Sugarlands actually came and hung out with us. And Greg, who is the master distiller for Sugarlands, taught me a new little trick, is to take the butter pecan, no, not the butter pecan, I'm sorry, the butterscotch moonshine that he created, and right before you take the bacon off the griddle, you pour it on the griddle with the bacon cooking, and it caramelizes it even more so.
Really?
And it has a really good flavor too. So there will be two different types of Sugarlands moonshine put on the bacon. And maybe Richard, just thinking about that, maybe we should have a contest on which one is better.
That is always a possibility.
Maybe we should do a blind tasting.
There you go.
Now, last year I was also introduced to a Florida jelly. Was that you, AJ, that brought that up?
Oh,
well,
no,
we brought it.
So our cook, our
Travis.
Captain Gary on, he
Kitchen
actually
wench.
makes pepper jelly.
Yeah.
He's actually swamped with a job right now, so I have asked him if there'll be any jelly coming to Fall Sprawl, and he did not sound too.
We just need one jar.
We just
Just
need
one jar.
All right, Travis. Well, if you're here, if you're listening to this, which you should be,
The president
they just need one jar.
the
One
president of
jar.
Palmetto State Hangers needs a jar of jelly.
but we talk about the midnight bacon, and one of the things about Fall Sprawl is that we're trying to keep the traditions that Fall Sprawl has and PCA or Palmetto State Hangers have had, and we're looking to create some new traditions and grow the group. And the midnight bacon is just one. If somebody comes up with something in the next hang or the next two hangs, it's like, wow, this is great. We should try this. These are the things that will carry on, not just through my tendency and Heather's, but the 10-year plan. 10 years from now, they're going to go, hey, we're still doing midnight bacon, and and then we're doing this and we're doing this. These are the things that the club has evolved to.
I know the midnight bacon, like AJ said earlier, we kind of stole that from y'all. We do it at HangCon and everything.
It's the biggest form of flattery.
We also do the what is it, the drunken dates.
Yes.
Yes.
And y'all wrapped them in the bacon wrapped drunken date.
Yeah. And what moonshines do y'all use for that, AJ?
We in the past we've used a couple different ones. We have used the butterscotch, I believe, but in the past we've used the maple bacon.
Okay, I was thinking it was those two as well. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's okay if y'all have stolen things from us, because I've stolen plenty from you guys. And at one point, at least on a weekly basis, I mean, we have a group thread going between me, you, and AJ. So
yes.
It's a hot mess. It is a hot mess.
Of me constantly being like, how exactly do you guys do this? And then I just right click, copy and paste it all the time. So
I'm glad you think we know what we're doing. That's the greatest form of flattery, that you
right.
think that we all know what
well,
we're
you know a lot more than me, AJ. So.
Well, the best ideas are often stolen ones.
Absolutely.
Me and AJ, we have a magic 8 ball each, and we just kind of hold up the magic 8 ball and let it do the work.
Literally.
I mean, the thing is you guys have been doing this for a few years now. Y'all do it on a scale 10 times larger than we do. So anytime I have questions, I kind of defer to you guys. Or if there's a question among the board members of, how should we do this? Usually my first answer is, well, let me reach out to Skunk Cake and Pheonix and let me see how they do. And then we can just do it on a smaller version, or somewhat change it up to what suits us. But I mean, again, I think I said this last year, the last time I was on the podcast, my goal is to grow Fall Sprawl into being the South Carolina HangCon, basically, version. And all I'm doing is literally copying and pasting what you guys do. And I think you and we all have the same goals in mind as well, of really growing and how we grow things and making sure things are done legitimately and legally. So
right.
One of the things that I think that's so cool, and I think we are a perfect example, not just me and Paul, but our two groups, we could care less that we run two different. We're not competing against each other.
That's correct.
We want to see each other succeed. We love the fact that, hey, you want to do HangCon in South Carolina? Go for it. I will show up. I will hang my hammock. I will eat bacon with you.
Yeah.
It's a blast. So don't for the people out there. Oh well, they're talking to. No, we're not. We're not the enemy. We're friends of each other. We're
all
know
family.
Each other beyond just the hammocks. Like
yes,
it's all family.
At your house, Heather.
Yeah, and I think that's what's great about this community and the hammock world, that I have found that I've not found any other place in life other than in the hammock community, is the sense of camaraderie that we have with each other. No one's competing against each other here. Right. We are all networking together to help each other and lift each other up. And I mean, just even the people in the community who are that you would probably never speak to in a normal social setting. Like, your social status does not matter in this community. And that's what I love about it. 100%. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what type of house you live in. It doesn't matter what type of job you have. Social standards are out the window as
Yep.
soon as you walk through those woods. As soon as you park your car and get out of that car, none of that matters anymore. All that matters is that you're a decent human being, and everybody's there to teach and learn and just love each other. I mean, just truly love each other.
And just hang out.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that a little bit, but a lot of that comes from, and I don't want to say the top meaning a wrong way, but the cottage vendor community is the same way. They help each other out. They support each other to an extent, and it amazes me. I mean, when I go to hangs and I see new people that have never hung before, and the amount of people that want, even on the forums and stuff, the amount of people that want to help and show, let me show you the way, the safest way to do this, or this is okay equipment. But maybe this one you might want benefit from having a longer hammock because you're 6'3" and you're trying to lay in a 9-foot hammock, or don't banana lay diagonal. You'd be surprised how many people I've told that to, and I'm like, well, you don't lay I was like, no, you lay diagonal in it. So I never thought of that. So we're all supportive of each other, and supportive of our cottage vendors, without our vendors, in a lot of cases, a lot of these events wouldn't be able to happen, and fundraisers and things, because they are a vital asset to your guys at Hang Con and us at Palmetto State.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know I know with Hang Con, anyhow, if it wasn't for, the vendors, the Hang Con probably really wouldn't exist, or if it did, it wouldn't be at the scale that it is, now. Because
I can say 100% it wouldn't be at the scale.
No, it wouldn't, because it's the cottage vendors and their donations and everything that help us raise the money to do Hang Con and everything, and you get the vendors that show up and come to the different events. Everybody loves to come to any one of the events and talk directly to the vendors.
Absolutely.
Because they can talk to them firsthand, meet the person that's making their product and everything, and
Law knows they're not coming to Hang Con to see me.
This is true.
Well, that's not true, Pheonix. That's the only reason I actually come to Hang Con. That, and I'm afraid of the yelling that I will get from you and Paul if I don't show up.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've already been yelling at her, AJ, because she has not registered yet.
I didn't register last year, but I still came.
What the deuce, Cackles? Get on it.
I'm always there.
Register. It don't matter. Don't matter. You've got to register. We're going to tell you, just like we tell everybody else, we need the people to register so we can keep a count of how many people are there. Because if we have people that are just showing up, we might not have enough food.
Oh, there you go.
There's where the numbers come in.
I don't think I have a choice.
Do I need to copy and paste this, or text this to you so you can copy and paste it?
Look, Paul, do I actually have a choice in coming or not?
Well, no, you don't. But
really.
you don't have a choice in registering either.
Yes, that's also true.
There you go.
Well, I'll also mention that obviously that me and Paul will be at Fall Sprawl. We've been looking forward to this really ever since Hang Con ended. We love hanging out with you guys. Me and Paul are also interested in maybe doing some recording while we're up there as well.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my mics and all that stuff. So
That'd be awesome.
we can
might
do
get a few episodes there. So if
we
you're
can do some episodes
interested
there.
in,
And
well, hopefully everyone is interested to come to Fall Sprawl, because you should, because it's a fun blast. It's a hoot of a time.
with the nice weather.
Come hang out. Also come see us, and who knows, maybe you will be on the Hammock Hangers podcast.
Yeah, we can definitely reach out to some members and set you up a lineup if that's what you would like.
Yeah, we can
Line
do,
them up.
We'll do a.
I feel like that should be a song, AJ.
Oh my goodness.
We can try and do a depending on the signal out there. We could try and do some like Facebook Live or something. Also,
That would
or
be
IG
awesome.
Live
That would be awesome.
yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah,
I don't know.
that'd
I
be
can't remember how good the signal is. I usually don't mess with my phone much while I'm out there.
So before we wrap this up, AJ, I have a question for you.
Oh Lord.
Uh-oh.
Are you going to bring the ukulele and actually serenade us?
Okay, so yes, I will bring my uke. I also have like a banjo uke as well.
What?
I thought about bringing. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit, but I like to pack light. So if I've got room up front,
That's like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I know, right?
yeah. I don't. When I go to these hangs, it's not like I'm hiking out. So I'm gonna bring everything that I can't fit in the backpack. So
AJ, you pack more than a woman.
I do. I need to make sure that I've got all the things. All the things.
I think AJ and I both bring
too dang much. That's what we can say.
It also. I mean, I bring extra just in case there's somebody there that's new and don't really have something, or
it's not true.
Do I?
That's what I tell people too, because it makes me feel better about myself.
Is that what it is?
But it's not true. He really brings it because he likes to switch hammocks every day.
Oh,
times every hour.
I'm pretty sold on my Ridge Runner. So
AJ, I'm pretty sure you packed more to go to for a weekend to camp than I packed for 4 weeks in Europe.
Possibly. I would agree to that. But I've gotten better. Slightly. I'll still probably bring more than you took to Europe, but I've gotten better.
Yeah, I carried everything in a carry-on case for Europe.
Yeah, that's a negative. That's
for 4 weeks.
I'm still in the checked baggage realm, okay?
No.
So, all right. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this up. But before we go, Richard.
Yeah.
Actually, either one of y'all. Let's just do a recap of Fall Sprawl as far as when it is, the dates, where people can buy raffle tickets, and all that good stuff.
Richard, I'll let you handle that. Make sure you also hit on the price point of the raffle tickets.
Okay. So Fall Sprawl is October 12th through the 15th. It's at Santee, South Carolina State Park, and it's easily accessible off of I-95, either coming north or south. So we expect some of our neighboring states to come. It's in the primitive area, which is paved till you get there. And you have a short walk to your camp area. We would like for you to register first before you set up. That would be amazing. We are all looking for a great time, a wonderful time with like-minded people that are coming in. We're looking to shoot for $4,000. We would take more for sure for the South Carolina State Park camp out program that they do for families. That's what the raffle is for. Raffle tickets, you can go to our Facebook page. It's Palmetto State Hangers. And there's some information on that. Right now, we're running a special that you can buy 50 raffle tickets for $100. And you can do that PayPal. There is a Cash App if you need it. PayPal is listed on the Facebook page as far as the address. That will be done on the 31st. So September 1st, we will have an updated lesser amount, which I believe is 40 for 100. Now you can buy 8 tickets for $20 right now, or you can buy 1 ticket, but we're trying to let people get a really good bargain up front so we'll know that we have at least a lot more interest in the things that we have, and look forward to seeing items that we are going to be offering, going to be put up on our Facebook pages soon as we get some pictures taken to kind of entice people to come and to donate money. And I believe it's going to be a great time for everyone. We're going to have at least 10 vendors, hopefully 12 or more, and we expect to see everyone there.
Awesome. Now, quick question.
If anyone has questions about the PayPal or Cash App, just reach out to me directly on Facebook, Heather Beck, or you can reach out directly to Palmetto State Hangers. Richard and I are both the ones who monitor that chat account as well. So either way, if you have questions about how to make the payments, just reach out to me. And if anybody needs to write a check, they can also write a check, and I'll send you the information on where to send that check.
Okay. I have one question, actually. If there's somebody that lives a little further away or whatever, and they're not able to make it to Fall Sprawl, but they want to help out, can they make just a normal donation?
Absolutely. we would greatly appreciate it, and the camp out program would greatly appreciate it.
Okay. So would they do that through the same
Yes.
PayPal and everything?
Yes, same
Okay.
PayPal. Just put donation,
Okay.
and make sure that and Heather will make sure she notes that, and we greatly appreciate that. And you can put your name on there. That'd be wonderful. We won't divulge it unless you don't want. We'll divulge it unless you don't want us to. But
Okay.
you can be anonymous. That's fine as well.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So there you have it.
Through everything through PayPal is done via friends and family.
Right.
Otherwise we get charged a heavy fee. So,
We're all friends and family in the hammock world.
Exactly. All right. So there you go, guys. Even if you can make it to Fall Sprawl, that'd be awesome. I know I would like to meet a bunch of new people. I'm sure the PSH group would love new members and see some new faces there. But if for some reason you live a little further away and you're not able to make it, but you would like to help out and just send a donation, a couple of bucks, whatever, and they would appreciate it, and it would be a big help. So go to Facebook, find Palmetto State Hangers on Facebook. Y'all have Instagram as well, correct?
that is correct.
Okay. So you can find them on Facebook and Instagram to stay up with any of the information and everything. Find and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And until next week, happy hanging, everyone.